Now I want to point out, look at my finger here. Look how much pressure I'm putting on the leash. Very little. I bend down, I tap my leg to kind of give her a little bit of encouragement, but I'm not making a big fanfare of it because for a lot of dogs that can be more stressful. Now, the dog on the left and the dog on the right, it's almost a completely different process. So I want to show you both, but you're going to see here it's just pressure on, pressure off, and that's the reward. The goal of this is to get her up here in this crate. She's already been in the crate. She's already been in the car without the crate. So I've worked through these problems individually, but now I need her to be in this Rufflin kennel because if I roll the car, I don't want my client's dog to be dead. I've got other Rufflins up front there as well. So pressure on, pressure off. The real takeaway on this one is watch my body language. But we're not done. Far from it. So giving her a little break there, and then there's the little stopper. I'm using a slip leash, by the way. This would not work with a flat collar. It would just pop off her head. Constant pressure, but not continuing to pull. Changing the angle, bending down. Good girl. Praise. Not making a huge deal about it. And then the real problem here is the closer we get. But, you know, you're going to see in the other... there's not a lot of room for me to do a running start, so I'm just pressure on. And it was the same thing in the house. She did not want to go in the crate, even though she goes in her crate at home. So right there, pressure on, pressure off, but then she goes to leave, so the pressure's on again. And look, you can see I'm using 2 fingers of pressure, but it's constant, and because it's a slip lead, she wants to turn it off. Little bit of tapping on the car to kind of encourage her. She's about to have a meltdown here. No, I'm going to fight it. I'm going to fight it. Can't fight it. Can't win. In we go. But don't end there. Come on back out and let's do it again. Now, her jumping up and down with a young dog, not the best, but we're not doing this 45 times a day on asphalt. If I could back her up towards grass, with the other dog, you'll see I actually lift him out because he also is young. You got to do this multiple reps. If you just end after doing it once, that's 1 rep. So we do 3 positive reps with no fighting. And there might be a fight. There might be a fight that we go back to. But because she said, I don't like the pressure of this leash, I'm going to make sure that I avoid that in the future. Okay, now this big handsome boy on the left here. We had just done maybe a 5-minute leash walking lesson, maybe 10. I'll edit it and link it below if it's not already linked at the end of this video. And drag them absolutely everywhere. He's like a year-old Newfoundland intact, just a goofy dog. His mom is on the left there. I think she's smaller than he is. Like, he is absolutely ginormous. And, you know, he will put on the brakes and has put on the brakes if he doesn't just drag you. So here we're using food. The big difference with this one is this dog had been doing my 7 Elements course for probably 2 weeks, which is a food and leash-based training program, but no treats until you need them in a situation like this. It goes to shut down. I kind of caught myself there. We'll go back and look at what I did there. I almost screwed up in training, but we're using treats for the first time in 2 weeks, and he's food motivated. He's very food motivated now because he's been working for all his food. So now we're using freeze-dried lung, which is like, the more disgusting the treat, the more likely the dog's going to absolutely love it. And so here he is food motivated. We're only doing 2 paws up. If you wait till they do the exact finished product that you want before you pay them, you're not going to get the result. They're going to give up before they continue. So here he puts 2 paws up, pay him. Well, let's go back to that almost screw up there. He puts on the brakes, okay? Right here. He puts on the brakes. And I go, oh, I'm going to leave to do a reset. Wait a minute. No, I shouldn't do that. He put on the brakes. I'm going to maintain the pressure. He goes, oh, I can't win this. Because for the first time, he's wearing a prong collar. Like I said, we did a 5-minute lesson. There's no way these people would be able to walk this dog without a prong collar. They tried a gentle leader. He literally drags his face across the asphalt. No pull harness. He can drag them like a friggin' workhorse with a no-pull harness. Slip leash, he's just gagging and choking himself and spitting up. Prong collar, walks like a dream, 5 minutes. Like I said, I'll post that video. So this one, it's a lot different, where the previous one, I kind of was just inching my way forward. With him, we're leaving, we're resetting, and this, as awkward as it is the one he does it for whatever reason. Camera guy it's his dad. He can't believe it. He's if you could hear him here, he's pretty ecstatic. So we'll stop there.
Yeah.
We're not gonna stop there. Okay. So I let him jump out.
That's the part where it's that impact.
So I don't want to do this a lot. Like I was saying, you could back up.
2 reasons. One,
you could back up on not on asphalt, on like a median, so like a shorter jump. Like every time you like pull into a parking lot, you back up into the thing, so it's less of a jump. Also, they're bouncing down on grass, carry them out. But I realized that, like, I've got clients in their late 70s with Newfoundland dogs. They're not lifting anything out. They need a ramp, but it's the same fundamental problem of the dog's just like, I'm not going in the car. I have done this so many times with so many different dogs.
Yeah.
This run up and out technique really works, but as soon as they lock on the brakes, you fundamentally need to maintain that pressure. What a good boy. Did it 2 times in a row. I lift him out on this next one, I believe, because I'm just like, you're too big. He's well over 100 pounds. And so now it's food and leash pressure. And the real technique with this one is tug, 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 until he starts to run. Until he's like, I'm on my way. I don't need any pressure. Watch my hands here. I'm literally doing this. Flick, 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 flick with the leash because it's attached to a prong collar. So it's doing this, but you can tell he's not in pain. He's uncomfortable. He doesn't want to jump up in the car. He wants to be carried for the rest of his life. But dad has a back injury, and mom is like, I'm getting to the point where I physically can't do it anymore.
Good. So I'm going. Do you notice how it's going?
He can do it. And he can do it. So little leash tugs until the run starts, and then he's in. Big rewards. Close the door. He's in. We're happy. You got to have the right tool. This doesn't work if you don't figure out the right tool that the dog goes, I want to turn this off. I'm a big fan of doing this with e-collars. When your dog is e-collar conditioned properly, at some point the leash, depending on the tool you have, is like, it's not working. But when your dog is e-collar trained, you can not enough. Okay, let's use a little bit more pressure, and the dog has learned already to move away from or towards you to turn the pressure off. E-collars work fantastic with this stuff. If you have questions or comments about this, put it down below. I hope this was helpful. Know what you love. See you in the next one. Bye, meow.